life coach and psychic medium coming in this evening to do a spiritual intuitive guidance. And I'm just trying to bring up on my phone, as I always do, so that I can see, just so I can see. Hi, Sophie. I am going to do a couple general cards first, and then hopefully I can get in a few people for some cards. I wanted to do, I love to give a few general cards that can resonate with a lot of people because not everybody gets chosen. So hi, Sherry. Hello. I'm hoping I am on, just making sure I'm on both. Thanks, Brenda. Covering up my regrowth. And so welcome, Nikki, Misty, hi, Wendy, hi, Dion, hi, Tammy, hello, and Jody. I'm just letting some people join in, let the room fill up a little bit before I fully start. Hi, Jody, and Krista, hello, and Serena, hi. I'm going to do some general cards, doing some general cards first. Not sure where the cards for who's going to be chosen. I'm listening to my channel. I'm listening to the spirit guides speak to me here. So let's see what we get. You love my Buddha picture? Thank you, Sophie. Yeah, it's one of my favorite. I just realized that the past few times my camera has been like wider. So you're like seeing my hallway. You're seeing the dog's play toys, piece of the cat house that we keep moving around. Hi, Judy and Larissa, hello, and Cheryl and Wanda and Lindsay, hello. Connie, hello. And who else we got? Jesse and Tracy, hello. And Shauna, hi. And Linda, hello. So tonight I'm really in a energy of Kuan Yin and the energy of some really strong goddess and also some really strong fairy energy. There just feels like, you see my dream catcher, right? So that little dream catcher, I have a great big one on this side. Everything's backwards in the camera. So this dream catcher is made by Krista Curtis, who is in here. And she's in here tonight. And Krista makes a lot of the bracelets you see me wear, most 89%, except for like the gold ones. But she makes like 80-90% of the bracelets that I wear. And she makes these beautiful dream catchers. And she's Krista's creation on Facebook. She ships, I think she ships out. I think you ship out, don't you? She got some amazing stuff. I got some amazing friends who do some great work. You're welcome. Hi, Jade and Brenda. Hello. So I'm just going to open up with some general cards. Let's see where this goes because the room is filling up, so the energy is filling up, and so we're just letting. So this card came tumbling out, so we're going to leave it out. I am using my Radley Valentine. My deck is the original deck back when it was 2 names on the decks. So this is my Fairy Tarot cards. Hello, Mary. Hi, Cheryl. So weird that I'm so attracted to your channel. Well, I'm so glad you're so attracted to my channel. I love that people come in and join me. I work in love and light, and I love that people come in and join in on the love and light that is in here. Stacy, you're probably in, if it says there's only 5 in the chat, you're probably in on YouTube. It's also on Facebook Live. Facebook Live is very filling up. YouTube is still growing because, and I took a big break from YouTube with a lot of what was happening. So me and YouTube have had kind of an on and off relationship. So I'm really trying to get into my YouTube. Hello, everybody else who's joining in. Michelle, Brenda, Jennifer, Serena, hi. So I am shuffling through some cards. Like I said, just letting the room fill up. We have, I know on Facebook Live, it says the number's 44 right now. Number of the angels. It keeps going up really quickly. So that number's Yeah, Stacy. So if you're in on YouTube and it looks like there's only a few people, I use a broadcasting system called Be Live TV. So I link my systems together. So Facebook and YouTube are now linking together. So you'll always see me in on both sites when I'm in on live. Last week I did one, or a couple days ago I did a live, but it was only on Facebook. But most times now you're going to see me on both. So you can go in YouTube or you can go into Facebook and you'll see these lives. So this is general. Please remember, this does not replace any medical, psychological advice you've been given. These are to be used as entertainment while we're in here. To book a personal reading with me, you can go to my website, CorrieThorne.com. If you want to take any training with me, any of my up and coming classes that I have happening, I have this amazing course and I love it because I work as a spiritual healer. I have this course called Healing the Healer. Everyday women are healers. And this course is for the everyday woman. It is for that woman who puts herself last. It's that woman who makes herself last on the list. And it's in teachable.com. It is all on my website. And that one is starting next Wednesday. And it's live. It's interactive. It's all online. And so it is I think it's a 4-week class. I have to look myself. But if you go into my website, you can see that. You can see all the information, and plus there is my full moon meditation that I just finished. You can still take that one. That's still in there, and that's free. There's all kinds of free things in there. There's all kinds of stuff in there. So if you haven't taken it, there is some of my paid classes in there. I have an inner child healing, and so inner child healing is that kind of the emotional wounds, or that sense of still having something from the past that's in our younger years that still triggers a reaction. Like we still have tantrums, we still get defensive, we get argumentative, those type of things. We can't figure out why. Why is this coming up? Or why do I respond this way? Why do I react this way? And that inner child healing class is really good for that. I don't know if anyone just seen that just go across on this side of me. A little something happening over there. So hello, whoever else is joining in. This is a card for everybody to just get the energy moving in the room. And this is the 8 of winter. And no, we don't want to see any winter coming yet anytime soon. And it's like, this really brings us to, sometimes we feel it as if we're in that trap, like, don't know if you have what it takes. You don't know if I have what it takes to take that leap of faith, to take that jump. It's like you sometimes feel as if you're powerless to be able to make changes in your life. And now's a prime time with all of this COVID, with all these things of everything just not really back to normal. You think it's not a good time. I can't do this now. This is not possible now. I can't, we do a lot of the can'ts. When I went to hairdressing school, I went to Lemoyne School of Hair Design in Newfoundland back over 30 years ago. And it was like, and so when I went to school, we had a word that was like, we had words that we were not allowed to use in school, and can't was one of those words. We were not allowed to say can't. It was like, I can't do this. I don't know how. It's like, I will try. And it was always that sense, hello, everybody. It was that sense of, I'm willing to try. I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to, at least discover a little bit more about something. And we're at this pivotal turning point, past the full moon, past the lunar eclipse that just happened. And we're in this warrior energy right now, very much in warrior energy. And it's healing the masculine is a big part of the energy that's here right now. But I'm picking up the divine feminine today. And we're really truly talking about moving and shifting beyond. So this is a time when you have to believe that you got to push yourself a little bit further. We get at this, and I always say this in spiritual healings, that, anybody can wear the t-shirt. Anybody can hear the t-shirt. Everybody can go to, a yoga class or do 1 or 2 meditations and say that they're on that spiritual journey. And a spiritual journey means that you're starting to choose to live a life that goes inward, that you see the God consciousness, you see the essence of the light that's within, and you're making yourself important, that you've become aware, not always fully awake, but aware of the importance of you as a human being, and that we have to start with start with healing us from the inside out, and that the world out there does not define us, it doesn't create us, and it does not make our lives better. We have to do that. And so this is about, when we're doing this journey, when we're in this energy of feeling like, I'm stuck, I can't do this. We often get that way when we're on a pivotal turning point where it takes having to make a tough decision, that we have to make a tough or a harder decision, or we have to fight a little bit harder to push ourselves out of a comfort zone. If it's comfortable, that means it's time to do something different. I never stay in one place. It's like that energy within myself is that energy has to shift. You have to be willing to do something a little bit different to make your life better. If you're sitting around and you keep saying, my life is always like this, nothing changes, and you're just always waiting for the next bad thing, waiting for the shoe to drop, waiting for the next problem. No, we don't do that. We're not those kind of people. We don't make changes. We just stay doing this. If you don't make a change, if you don't do something yourself, nothing is going to change. I can give you 1,000 cards. I can give you 100 readings, and I can pass you on 100 messages. You are the one who has to take the action steps. Nothing changes until we make those action steps for ourselves. And that's that. It's like, you can live your life feeling as if you're powerless. You can feel your life, you can live your life as if waiting for, the government to make changes, for your community to make changes, for everyone else around you, for your family, for your partners, for everyone else to change, to make changes. Doesn't happen that way. It is you. And you have to be willing to do that for you. Make yourself a priority. Make yourself important. Is it easy? No. This has not been an easy freaking journey. I'm not going to tell you it has been. It's not all butterflies and freaking sunshine. And it's not this is a big awakening, like, kind of moment. That's not how life goes. Sorry. Hate to just say that, but it's true. Anyone who takes that big step, that big journey, has usually been through some of the most traumatic, hard times. And it's not always about being this perfect little angel who just steps into this life and it's like, oh, no, it's people who've been through hard times. It's that you've been through the shit. You've been dragged through the mud. The lotus flower moments, the awakening moments is rising from that murky, rising from those hard times and pushing yourself up and making a choice that spirit doesn't come down for you. The guides don't come down for you. You have to rise yourself up to them. It's the same thing. You don't stay in low energy and expect your life to get better. You have to rise up. You have to rise yourself in that energy. And it's not fear-based. We don't run on fear. We run on faith. We run on hope. We run on the desire that we are all equal we all have that equal opportunity, equal choice to choose to step into our light. I'm not saying that the whole world outside of us is always that feels like it's equal or is that equal opportunity, but what's in here has an equal opportunity. And you have to choose that equal opportunity. And is the choices that we make. What are we choosing to stay stuck in? What are we choosing to allow us to feel as if we're still powerless? And this is, it's like you can say, oh, I'm just like there. We live in that lack of confidence. Sorry, it's hard to see. The light is really bright. But it's that sense of being in the lack of or not feeling as the thunder rolls in. Corrie. Yes, Corrie. Send many prayers your way. There was 3 young lives lost this way too a few days ago. So we just had the second card. So we're doing 3 cards and then I'll start choosing some cards. So the exact same card just come falling out. Feeling this for sure, needing to get help tonight. Yeah, so I'm glad you're listening, Crystal. Listen to the messages. Because remember, it's not about getting one card to get one message. It's about listening to the channeled message. I work as a channel. So these messages are channeling from divine source, down through me. I'm the messenger of these messages. And it's coming from divine. It is what's in the energy. It's what's out there. And so it's right. So Cassie, it's a constant road of 10 steps forward. Don't say that. Change that. because it's that thought, right? It's like that essence of no. Let's change how we speak about that, because the power of words have a lot of power. Exact same card come just as we start stepping back in again. This is the exact same card come flying out again. I can't get this message out. We are not powerless. We are not powerless. We are not here to live in that energy of thinking that we can't change or that we can't take a leap. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe you are worthy. But here's the key. You can say it all you want, but if you're not open to accepting what is coming in, then it keeps bouncing off. And if you keep filling your heart, your life, your everything full of the old energy, if the cup is full, if you're emotionally full, you have to empty it all out. Because even if we just keep piling in and piling in and piling in, it's like the good and the bad shit all piles in, and then everything starts to spill out. So we can't absorb what we're learning, what we're gaining, what the good is trying to give to us if we keep trying to hold on to the past, or we keep trying to hold on to the bad stuff too. So we got to be open to allowing. We got to be open to accepting. That is the key. The big key is acceptance. Are you open to accepting love? Are you open to accepting help? Are you open to accepting the divine? Are you allowing love to flow through you? Are you allowing the light to flow through you? Right? It's very hard. But and I know this sounds really hard to accept sometimes, especially, and I know, Dion, you've had like some, a traumatic loss, and I know you're grieving, and I know people are grieving. I mean, that I understand. But the past only controls us because we allow it. And the past is not now. The effects of it are now. The feelings we have, the hurt, the grief, and there's no time limit on getting past grief. But moving and shifting our energy into living in the now is such an important part, because we cannot change the past. No matter how much you hold on to it, you cannot change it. It is not possible to change the past. Impossible. You can make a difference now. You can make changes that change how you reacted, how you responded, how we behaved, old habits, old beliefs. We can break and change all of those. But what happened back there happened, but it is not alive. The past no longer exists. Neither does the future. Neither one. This is the only thing we have. And we never know if we have the next minute. We never know what we have next, right? So it's like we got to start seeing it that way. Seeing things in that way. Hello, Francis. Nice to see you guys who's all joining in. You're right, it's hard, sometimes hard. Brenda, if it does not serve you anymore, let it go, whatever it is, right? Yes, and it's like so much crap, having trouble letting go and move forward. We got to be willing to make a change. If something is, as we sit on the same freaking card, right? If we're not willing to do something different, and it's like they say, what is it, the old saying? If you continue to do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, we call it like the insanity, right? It's like if we continue to keep doing the same thing that hurts us, that harms us, that is not serving us, that takes us to our lowest points, that take us into a place of losing money or losing our self-confidence, losing anything. If we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting the same result, or expecting a different result, there is something that you have to be willing to shift, you have to be willing to let go of, and you have to be willing to do differently. Because if you don't do differently, nothing is going to change. And if you're expecting somebody else out there to make you happy, it is not going to happen. Happiness is internal. And you can't force us trying to shame, guilt, blame anybody else for their behaviors, for their actions, for anything is not going to make them change. And clinging on to people, holding on to things, holding on to stories do not bring change. Do not bring change. Steve, there's so many things to look forward to that are now, because you have to remember, please remember this, our loved ones are always with us. They may lose the human body, but the spirit is eternal. So it's like we don't have them to hold on to, and yes, it's always going to be there, and yes, it's always going to be present. But when they move forward, they don't sit up there kind of doing the same thing we're doing down here. They're not up there self-destructing or causing their more pain and misery in their lives. They're living in the light. They're living in the love. And the biggest thing that I can tell you that I get in messages from loved ones on the other side when I'm in sessions, live for me. You are blessed to be this human. And you only get to be this human once. You get one go at being who you are today. Live for me. Do the right thing. I wish I had have did this while I was there. I wish I had have made, full use of all the time that I had. I wish I had have said this. I wish I had have lived in the light. And so we have the opportunity, because we're still here, to live in the light, to live in love, to do good things, to be a good human, to enjoy and embrace the love and the beauty and the awe of living here on earth. Because there's still so many beautiful things to see. So many beautiful things to see. Yes, exactly. It's the wheel of torture, right? Self-torture. It's and the self-prophecy, that self-destruction prophecy that we do. It's like we're waiting to self-sabotage. So when things just start to get good and then we crash and burn, we stop. It's like, what are we afraid of? We have this fear of success. We have this fear of growth. We have this fear of moving forward. We have this fear of love. We have this fear of life. Fear, the ultimate ego is fear. Is fear. And if fear is leading your life, you do not live in faith. If fear is leading your life, you do not have faith. Because if you're not trusting the divine, or if you're not trusting yourself to be able to use your own instinctual guidance system, then where are you? You're in fear. You are trapped. You're trapping yourself in misery and illusions. We create our own reality. Please remember that. We create our own reality. We create that, right? So it's like, what is real is really happening. What is real, what we know is concrete. So like Bonnie, who just said she just had surgery. That's real. She knows that. She can feel it. That's real. And the only other thing that we know to be true right now is that now it's a healing time. Now there's a process. And so everything else that we create, so the stories we tell ourselves about how people are, what people think of us, all those things become the realities that we create. Bonnie, I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to go dive into that. And because I'm not working with you personally, and I'm not really into your body, but I do believe that you have to trust what is needed for you, and really listen to your body when it's telling you to rest during this, because I really feel like your body needs rest. That I do feel. I feel like your body is tired. Right, Dan? So yeah. So Trina, yes, we create our own reality. And we can't change fate. There's a lot of fated things that have to happen, and we can't hold on to people, and we can't make people stay longer than they're meant to be here. And I know that's a hard thing to understand, but we don't get to decide how long people are here. And and the things that we're doing don't change. So if we try to cling on to people and hang on to them, if we try to keep people present that are going through, hard times and addictions and those type of things, is that we can't make them live their lives differently. They have to want that. They have to be open, willing to receiving, to making a change. We can't do that for people. Yes, your gut will always speak the truth. So if you get out of your head, clear out the clutter in your head, and listen to your true intuition. So your gut is in your power center, and that is your solar plexus. And once we live in a clear solar plexus, once we live clearing our lives out, clearing out the energy, once we live with clarity, our lives change. And so we just came through the full moon, and that was the other card. And this is a major arcana. So, it's those changing moments in our lives, those defining moments in our lives. And I'm picking up a lot of power and being powerful and powerless and understanding power tonight. And it's like warrior energy. If you find yourself wanting to fight back, like, F you don't know what you're talking about, that is actually not power. That's actually weakness. So if you're very defensive, if you're very quick to jump in and be like, nobody knows what they're talking about and blah, 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 and very kind of that defending yourself and like always that loud energy in a room, that's actually weakness. That is not confidence. That is not truth. That is fear. And when that's guiding us, that is actually lowering our vibration. Sometimes you got to be willing to listen. Sometimes you got to sit back. Regina, my jealousy is ruining my life because I can't trust. Yes, horrible, horrible emotional, connections that we have. Our emotions lie to us. They start to reel us in our head. And so if you go back to the original source, Regina, Regina, right? If we go back to the original source of trust, and you got to get to the root of the real issue. You got to get to the root of where it started. It's not going to be overnight. It does not happen overnight. And so the card that I pulled is the moon. See how I wanted to give these cards for everybody tonight? I listen to channel. I listen to the guides because these messages resonate with so many people. I don't just come in and just like, all of a sudden Corrie decides. It's the channels that channel through me that guide me to this. And this is what you call trust. I fully trust every session. I don't plan nothing. I don't pick nothing before I start. I don't choose anything. I meditate and I ask what is needed. And this is what I give. I give what is needed. So the moon, and it's this powerful intuitive epiphanies. When we start to allow ourselves to think in the energy of letting go of the worry, because worry is fear, and worry does not bring change. No matter how much you worry, if you worry, nothing changes. Nothing changes. Worry and fear does not bring change. And it don't bring you any closer to a truth. That spirals you so far away from the truth. And these moons, that the moon's coming in, is that it's like lighting up the shadow of us. So the full moon lights up the shadow essence of it. It lights up our fears. It lights up our insecurities. It shows us what we're doing, that takes us into the lower vibrating energy, that takes us into being in that really unhealthy place within ourselves. And when I was writing More Than Existing, when I was writing the book that's in print right now, guys, it's in getting the cover printed. I'm speaking with the marketing, the publicity, all that stuff right now. But when I wrote that book, it was really truly about the truth. It was about getting to the truth. And that was about taking ownership and responsibility for my own life. And you had to get really freaking honest with yourself. The things that we are doing to bring ourselves into our own misery, into our own suffering, is us. Because the stories we tell ourselves, and this is where, when I spoke of inner child healing, was that when we tell ourselves these stories, how many of these stories come, like how much of this fear, worry, insecurities, defensiveness, angers is all the way back in childhood. And if you're a freaking grown adult now, Why is that little inner child behavior, tantrums, defensiveness running the show of an adult? Think about it. Would you let a 3-year-old be in charge of your life? So if the 3-year-old was the one that was hurt, why is the 3-year-old energy now still in charge of your life? When you put things into perspective, when you allow yourself to start opening, when you allow yourself to get out of that collective kind of core values that you get stuck in. This is how it always was. This is how I've always been. No, it's not. You didn't arrive that way. You arrived upon earth of pure love. You arrived with everything that you needed. You had no lack of when you came here. You had everything that you needed. Unconditional love. Everything was provided for us. Everything else that gets taken away, or everything that we feel that we have this sense gets taken away, is only taken away because of the outside world or what we allow. And so, and I'm not talking about the people in our lives. I'm talking about within us. I'm talking about our energy. And so the more that we allow people to just believe that they're taking our light, nobody can ever take your light. It's called leaving their imprint upon you, leaving their shadow, leaving their insecurities. So sometimes, are you really living as you? Do you even know who you are? Because if you really become that person that hurt you, and you start to react that way, and you start to act that insecurities out within yourself, then you're actually more like behaving like the person who hurt and harmed you than you're behaving like your true self. Right. And so this energy that's coming up for me tonight is like to really push us to, it's about pushing down. It's like you lay your hands down and you pull yourself up. And when you pull yourself up, you rise out of the garbage. You rise out of being trying to see in the mud, trying to see in the dark. And you start to see this peak of light, and you can see so well. Right? Yes, we are our own worst enemies. In my book, I actually call it the so-called enemy. Through the eyes of the so-called enemy. And the More Than Existing book is really written about, I'll tell you a little story about the More Than Existing book, is that I always had this story about being like this overweight, always having this image of being this fat girl. And my sibling we used to tease each other, and he'd call me Miss Piggy, not jokingly. And I would take that to be very serious. And I took that to heart. And every time I see Miss Piggy on TV on the Muppets, all I used to see was this like overweight, loud mouth, like annoying pig. But so I'm thinking, that's what they must think of me, that I'm this overweight, big, annoying. While I was writing the book, Miss Piggy came back on. My partner, Corrie, he put on this YouTube, and it was Kermit and Miss Piggy. And I'm like, when I heard her voice, it triggered that insecurity in me. And I'm like, that effing pig, like, and because that was my image, is that I'm not like just being called a pig, right? Like, and so when I turned around and I looked at the TV from the eyes of the healed woman that I am today, not from the little girl, from the healed woman, all I seen, now listen to this, Judy. When I turned around and looked at her from the healed woman that I am today, all I seen was this beautiful, long blonde haired puppet on a string with beautiful cleavage. And I'm like, I'm all about cleavage. And she was wearing her red high heel shoes, which is my signature, and her hot legs. And she had on her nice dress, and her hair was beautiful. And she was a total symbol of empowerment. And as a young girl, that's why Miss Piggy was there, because she had a voice. She could stand up for herself. She could speak up. She had no problem saying, no effing way are you walking over me today. She had confidence. She didn't have body imaging. She was confident to show herself and to be herself. And so when I looked at her, I'm like, I'm damn proud to be like a Miss Piggy. If I can look like that. She even had her fake eyelashes, which I wear in the times when I go get fake eyelashes. And I'm like, way to freaking go if I have to be Miss Piggy. So I wrote in the book about spending my years comparing myself to a puppet on a string. and see how the reality of that is not even a truth, but we allow that to become our truth because we get stuck in our heads and we get images stuck in our body, stuck in our heads, stuck in our minds, stuck in our eyes, and stuck in our ears of what we heard, what we seen. And from the eyes of a child and from the eyes of an adult, it is totally different. Totally different. It is not the same story. So when we review back and we get to see it, so then I could rewrite that story. My book is about rewriting our story. I'm a self-actualization coach. I help us to become very aware. Self-actualization. It means that you have to become aware of yourself because you have to feel yourself. You have to feel you. You have to feel for you. You have to become aware of the aspects of you. You have to start to really look at you and take a good look at you to start to fall in love with you. How do you expect everyone else to be kind and nice to you if you're always beating yourself up? Right? Yes, Sherry, exactly. Miss Piggy was freaking in control of herself. So, Judy, that changes for you today because now you've seen it. She was all in control of herself. And Judy, all I remember of you is the most beautiful girl in school. All I remember of you. You were the most beautiful girl in the school. And I used to say it all the time. Judy was the most beautiful girl in the school. Had the most beautiful face I'd ever seen. So, Chandra, law of attraction, synchronous paths really caught my eye. Then I thought of you where you purchased one of your books. My book will hopefully will soon have a release date for the book. I'm hoping by September the book will be out. But as soon as I have a release date, everybody will know when there's a release date because we've been waiting so long. COVID slowed it down. Lots of things happened to slow the book down, but it's on its way. Nothing could stop me from speaking my truth. Put it that way. You're reading the problem is rarely the real problem. Yeah. The problem that you think is rarely ever the problem. And Regina, that goes back into the jealousy. And that's why I told you have to go all the way back and look at the trust. Don't look at the jealousy, look at the trust. Thanks, Lisa. Right? And Serena, exactly. It is like you have to change the perspective, change how you tell your stories. You have to rewrite your stories. When you start to rewrite your stories, everything changes. Well, Danielle, if you're coming to Alberta, maybe I'll get to see you. See, Judy? Something just changed for you today. Okay. All right. One more card, guys. And then I got to see if I can find this. I think it was Sophia. Sophie, are you still there? Oh, yeah, you are. You're just coming. Yes, I'm excited for my first book release, too. There's 3 books in total that'll all go with this. I have a lot of programs, too. And the book goes with my More Than Existing program that I teach. So if you're interested in taking part in my next More Than Existing program, it's a self-actualization, it's coaching, it's healing, it's everything. It's live, it's interactive. Once a week for 6 months. Oh my fucking God, I've got to swear. Same card. 3 times we just pulled the same card. Ha! You just can't make this shit up. That's one of my books. It's like, we just pulled this card. For anyone that's been in right from beginning, I have shuffled, and we got the same card again. 3 times in a row, same card, same energy. I live in Leduc, Regina. I am in Leduc. So, 8 of winter. Same card. It's like, really? This is how powerful the messages are. For those who are feeling powerless to the change, stay with me, Sophie. Don't leave me. So when we feel so powerless to make a change in our lives, right? It's crazy. That's how they work. And actually, right before I started, I went out to the closet in my other room where I keep a closet full of decks of cards. And yes, I have gotten rid of over half of my cards, and I still have a closet full of cards. I went out and got this deck of cards right before right before we came in tonight. And so, same card. And this card is, you have what it takes to make the changes that you need to make. This is about believing in yourself, even if no one else believes in you, even if everybody tells you you can't, even if everybody tells you you've never been able to, you can make a change. You have to have the courage, the faith, and that sense of why. Questioning the whys. What is my why? I am doing this because I am worthy to make a change in my life. I'm worthy to do something that brings me into a place of living in alignment with my truth. That only happens when we make a choice to choose to do something different than we've always been doing it. There's no fix. Right? There's like, you have to accept that you're okay. Number one, I always tell this, I had to fall in love with who I was. So I started working at this, like, even though I was training, even though I had the training years before, I started to work at this work at my absolute biggest. I was 265 pounds when I started. But at 265 pounds, I loved every ounce of me. I fell in love with who I was. I made a choice to write down that my life was going to change. I was going to live a life that was more than existing. That's more than just existing. That's getting out of that one track mind about only thinking that this is what we have. It's one thing to receive a message from a loved one on the other side that says, I love you, but it's about the healing. It is about making a change in your life, doing something different. I had to make that choice, and I wrote down those words, and I knew everything in my life was going to have to change. And I don't mean everything in the outside world. I mean everything on the inside of me. I was going to have to make myself a priority. I was going to have to look at all the isms I had in my life, like why I was a workaholic, why I was avoiding life, why I was 265 pounds, how I got myself to that weight, what I was trying to protect myself from, why had become so defensive, why I was getting argumentative, because all of that was so far away from the happy-go-lucky person that I used to be, so far away from the carefree person that I used to be. And I had to go find her. I had to go seek her out. And I'm like, I know she's there. She's worthy of this life. And I just started allowing things to unfold. I just start showing up. Every day I showed up. Every day I showed up for me. Every day I did something that was for me. And with that brought more self-love to me. I couldn't change anyone else. When I stopped trying to change anybody else, trying to make everyone else change, the only thing that was going to change was me. And a lot of the things that were being directed at me, as much as it hurt, it was fucking real. It was real. I really was becoming this person that I didn't like. And I could hear myself, but I couldn't shut myself up because I was so caught up in that energy. You've got to be willing to change your story. Got to change your story. The past does not exist. It is not there. This is what holding faith does. And when you're not willing to make a change, you'll get the same card over and over again, because we can try to change the energy, try to change the minds of the guide. Oh, give me something different. Tell me something different. They're not going to tell you nothing different until you do something different. It's like that boing in the head, right? You're just going to keep getting that boing in the head until you do something different. That's how it happens. I packed up and left. I left my career. My legs give out. I had to leave my career. I had to leave my business, my career. I left my town that I was living in for 20 years and I moved. And I moved to a town where I knew nobody. I had nothing, but I rented a house. And I went on faith and hope and trust and believing that if I couldn't have fear if I had faith. And I came here to Leduc and I emptied it all out. I just emptied it all and I just started new and I started fresh. And I was still running my other business, my healing business, but I had to leave the guaranteed income. I had to leave all of that behind. This was growing, this business was growing, but I could not stay stuck in the energy that I was allowing myself to stay stuck in. And it got nothing to do with the people that were in my life or the clients they were wonderful. There was a lot of goodness to my life in the town I was living in, but I wasn't good. I was no longer good. There was something I was mushrooming and hiding myself and living just comfortable. Well, comfortable wasn't going to get me to the next stage of my life. I had to do something different. You've got to be willing to be okay to be uncomfortable. You've got to be willing to do something that makes you uncomfortable. Yeah, the first step is the hardest, but once you make that first step, look out. Look out, world. Right? So, yes, Kathy, I used to be a hairdresser. I used to work in Springdale. Well, I used to work in Buckins. I worked in Springdale, Newfoundland for a lot of years. I used to teach the hairdressing program in Grand Falls, and I used to teach at Lemoyne's. I was a demonstrator at Lemoyne School of Hair Design in St. John's as well, and I worked in Springdale. Yeah. So, and now I just do this. Thank you, Lisa. And so I spent, and I was hairdressing since the 80s. I started hairdressing in the 80s, and I just 2 years ago. This coming October be 2 years since I gave up hairdressing, and I'm still going, still alive, still working, still making money, and growing a business. Books are out. Like, it's amazing when you make the choice to choose your life. So Sophie, you came on earlier and you asked for a card. So I'm going to give you a card. I actually have 2 cards for you. So yes, Madison did have me. Yeah. And her mom has been a friend of mine for years and years and years. So Sophie, where are you? I know you're still here. So Sophie, the card that I pulled for you was actually summer and spring. And it was the 6 of summer. And it was the 6 of spring. And so both are 6s. And 6s are the power of 3. And I just feel like for you, like this next year has to be like this pivotal changing moment. I am picking up some, so as I was even speaking about early, I get this whole sense of like remembering like some like childhood memories. You do have some childhood memories or some childhood friend energy that feels as if it either was a traumatic or it left you stuck in something, stuck in like remembering the good times or stuck in like an old story. And I feel like there's like a return of the past coming into your life, and the past keeps coming back into your life, or the past is trying to come back into your life. And so I think Frances is still in here somewhere. I seen her. And so I just have this sense of there being this, I just have this, like something of the past returning. I have some difficulties Oh, there you are, Francis. And so I feel like there's just a sense of something of your past. And I keep getting this. There's a past trying to come back into your life, or you're allowing the past to be in your life. And that is really, truly is time for you to take a good look in the mirror. And I just feel like there's I have some sort of love energy coming in here. So I don't know where this love energy comes in, but I keep wanting to twist and turn my hand. It's like I want to turn the reflection back on you. And it's like, I want to reflect back to you and not to the past. And I want to reflect to you right now. Who are you right now? Who are you right now? And do you really know why the hell would you ever be quiet, Francis? Why? And so I just have this sense of like flipping and turning this around and adding this like, I want to see you because I feel as if you're always putting your focus on somebody else, Sophie. And it's like, I want to see you. I want it to be about you. And I want it to be the change that is for you. The changes that are coming are all about you. And you got to bring the attention back to you, back into your heart and inward. It has to come in. It's the power of 3 that is coming in. I can tell you the 6 of spring is all about wonderful news. It's all about stomping in with like some good news. And what I'm getting with this is that you have to be the savior of your own life. And you want to be recognized. Like you want to be important to somebody. You want to be validated. You want someone to see your worth. Well, that somebody, Sophie, has to be you. Right? Okay, your grandbaby's on the way? Right? Okay, and you were a young mom, right? So it's like, yeah, you have all this kind of good news kind of coming in. And it's like I just want to feel and sense the fact that I want to flip it back to you before you give everything of yourself away again to be always taking care of everybody else, caring for everybody else. I want it to be about you. And I want you to start putting the focus on you. Look in at you. And Sophie, you are not going to believe this. Shuffling up those cards, this is the card that came out again. 8 of Winter. Same card that I've pulled 3 times in a row tonight. Same freaking card. You get it as well. And so this is actually back in again. So there's something here of all of these messages tonight that are really resonating for you, Sophie, that you do not make yourself a priority. The power of 3 is that there's a sense and power of the magical of if you do things enough time of looking in the reflection and into the light. So when I go back to that past of you, that being that young mom and who you were as that young mom, and it's like that whole essence, but you're this woman today, and now you're a young grandma, right? And now it's like this sense of being this young mom. Well, who was that young mom? Because you're not the young mom, you're Sophie. So who's Sophie now? Who is she? What does she do? What is she doing for herself? Because it's the sense that you're just like, you're not doing everything that you can do for you. And it's like, I just want to give you like a little bit of a lecture here. And I feel like this is kind of coming in. This is coming in strong from grandmother energy. This is a strong grandmother energy, as if you're getting that lecture. As if you're getting that lecture, Sophie. And so with that comes in, when you make yourself a priority, there is this sense of I feel as if, so I have unity card coming in. It is the coming together. It is the strongest relationship that we're facing and focusing on right now is you. And that this whole sense of when we're going to do the right thing, we're going to do the right thing by yourself. It's like, do the right thing for you. To do the right thing for you is to make yourself a priority. The union of the soul, the twin flame energy of us is actually us. It's building the relationship with the soul essence of us. So the false self, the shadows, that you can't run from yourself. You can't run from your past. You can't run from your shadows. You got to turn around. You got to look in the mirror and you have to face yourself and say, yes, this is the shit that happened in my life. So freaking be it. Oh, your mom? Okay. All right. And your grandma. Okay. Because I'm like, this feels like a lecture from grandma. Like you're just getting lectured. Like you got to stop in your tracks, stop running from yourself, stop trying to put your focus on everything else. Bring it to you. This is all about you, time to make you the priority. And the relationship that is the priority right now is the one that you have with yourself. And it's like really, truly doing the work on you now. You have to stop running. Stop running from yourself. Stop running away altogether and come forth into being about you. But this is grandma. And she's like kicking your ass. She's kicking your ass. She's kind of giving you that whole, and this is like, you're not powerless. You can do this. It's time for you to do this. Yes. Don't tell me everything, Sophie. Because you might be back in here more and you got more to tell me. So it's like, yeah, you have, and this is what I mean. So by having all of this people and all this stuff and all this misery, like all this misery that you're just kind of in, I just feel like there's a lot of sadness around you, a lot of this lower energy where you keep trying to run from that. And it's like, I just want it to be about you. And that's what they want. They want it to finally, for once, be something that's about you. There's a healing that has to start for you, Sophie. That's what I know to be true right now, because you are not a priority. You're not making yourself a priority. You've been running from your past. And as I said with the first card, childhood memories. There is childhood memories that keep coming up. The way things used to be, how things used to be. And so we have all these childhood memories that are like trailing you. They're living in your life, but it's like, it's not really real right now. We're in a wicked storm. Yeah, we kind of got a big storm here happening too. It's kind of coming and going here, Francis. And so this is like, I just want you to bring it to you. We're flipping the mirror around. We don't want it to be about them, right? Always. So this is a healing for your heart. I'm turning this mirror around on you. I'm reflecting it back at you. It's the spiritual healing that's happening. And as if I'm putting a reflective mirror in front of you that makes you start to, I'm not doing this for you. You get to open yourself up to receiving this, but as if you can feel from your heart for you now, that you're no longer numb to be able to feel. I feel like sometimes you didn't even give yourself chance. You didn't even give yourself a chance to grieve. That's what it feels like to me. You didn't even give yourself a chance to grieve. You just kept going and going and going and going and going. Yeah. Yeah, I think she's speaking out for all. So thank you. But I'm giving you this, I'm reflecting this back at you, and there's some sort of healing coming into your heart tonight that's going to help you, for you. Yeah. Thanks, Lisa. Okay. Crystal Belter. Crystal Belter. Card for you, my dear friend. A card for you. No storms in Newfoundland tonight? We've had nothing but storms. And Francis and I will hopefully get a setup time again here soon so that we come on together again. I love working with Francis. Highlight of my day. I told you, she makes me feel like she makes me laugh. So Francis brings me back out of my serious side. Okay. Yes, you were an autopilot. Exactly. And that's what I have for you, Sophie. Totally an autopilot. Okay. Is there lightning warning, Francis? Holy shit. Okay. Okay, Crystal. To you. And if I get this winter card again? Yes, very soon, Francis. I'd bring Francis in tonight, but I'm almost done. I've been an hour, and I do have other things to do tonight, so So I'm going to do Francis. I'm going to read for Crystal and Cassie. Cassie, who just asked, because Cassie's asked 2 or 3 times right back to the beginning of the night. So, okay. This time we got 2 of winter. So we're shifting down here now, Crystal. And so this is about indecisions. The two of winter is about indecisions. It's about being indecisive and not being able to make a decision. And it's like, what's holding you back from making your decision? So instead of worrying about making the decision, look at what is holding you back. Holding you back. And I just got this, I got this young boy in here, and he's got this look as if he's feeling as if he keeps looking to somebody else for his answers. He keeps looking to somebody else, and it's almost as if he feels as if he's trapped. But if he would just turn his head and look in the other direction, he would see there's like a door. And there's this door of opportunity. There's a door to be able to look another direction. So the only thing that holds us trapped is our fear. And it's that false illusion. So fear is false evidence appearing real. There's the real fear when little letters, and when there's a bear and it's like, fucking run for your life. That's real. That's a real bear. That's a real fear. Sorry. But fear is false evidence appearing real. I can't survive. I could never be by myself. I could never, if I do this, this is going to happen to me, da, da, da. We create the realities of fears, and we make the problems like go from this big to this big really quickly when we get stuck in our heads, when we want something to become bigger than what it is. So we create problems to be bigger than what they are. And so it's this big. And so the illusion that you're trapped, and it's like that indecision. You just get stuck in that story, and that's where you get stuck, and you keep telling yourself because you want to be stuck. And I always say, you are where you are because you choose to stay there. That's the choices we make. We stay stuck in our problems because we don't want to do the hard things, or we don't want to have to make decisions. And if we want to stay where we are, or we don't want to make a change, then you have to make yourself happy and content with where you are. And and that is inside. Like, that is something that's inside of ourselves. And that's your card. And I'm going to validate that for you as well, Crystal, because I just feel like something seems as if it's holding you back. I was just going to take the card, and they said, no, not that one. So I'm going to keep shuffling, Crystal, until they give me another card to take out for you here. And here's the Queen of Autumn. I feel as if October, like in that autumn time, I feel as if that's when you're really going to be able to start to bring back the changes. Bring changes into your life. And the sense of this is that this queen is very practical. She's very logical. She thinks of, she's so kind. She thinks of everyone else before she thinks of herself. And Crystal, this is kind of you, is the sense that, you're so generous, you're so caring, you're there to help everybody, you're there to give to everybody, you're there to take care of everyone. But, when you have that much respect for everybody else, why do we not have that respect for ourselves? If we respect ourselves enough, we do not allow other people to disrespect us. When we're that level of respect, we don't allow ourselves, when we give out that much, and we're that and we have that level of generosity, gratitude, love, appreciation for other people, why are we not one of those people? Why do you not include yourself as being one of those people? And so this is about, you have to do things wisely, and you need to be wise, but you got to start seeing yourself as one of those people and having that ultimate level of respect for yourself. Because it truly is about time for you to sit up on your throne, be very practical in thinking instead of being so caught in your head, and just know that you're going to create your world. It's time for you to create your world. And I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know how it's going to look, but it's like, respect yourself enough to say, I am worthy to make myself a priority. I'm worthy to not to live in this kind of angst, anxiety, worry, stress. And then I'm worthy to be respected, and I'm going to start to do that. Yes, it's straighten your crown. Right? And so last card to validate that out for you is King of Spring. And this is that wise kind of the financial, like for me, this comes up as the king is like financial. This, and we are in the healing of the masculine energy right now. And I feel as if there's a sense that there is some masculine energy, but this is you. This is actually you stepping up into full leadership role. Powerful red. I just feel as if this is like a powerhouse. You know how that bull charging forward is what I'm getting. And it's like, you're going to be surprised that when you start to step into this place of respect, is that you're going to be surprised who's actually going to be there to support you, and where the support is coming from, and how much this, it's like everything just feels like it's changing around you. You are the leader, and you're needed now. Follow the leader, leader, leader. That's you. And when you take the lead, when you take charge, when you become that woman again, when you find that strength, when your spine comes up and you fully own that shit, it's like when you own all of that, you watch and see the support that you have. You watch and see the love that's there. You watch and see, but you're the one who's taken the stand, and you're going to be standing up for you. And I look forward to see where this takes you. Cassie Boysen, right? Cassie Boysen. My Cassie. Cassie. Hello to everyone who's joining in. I go with who I hear to choose. So, Cassie, staying with the same deck. If you can hear snoring, that's one of my Yorkies. Sleeping on the floor. Well, these cards came good, Crystal. So these cards came out, and I'm going to give it a... So this is summer. We're in summer months, and I feel as if it's like, so as when you asked earlier, I'm like, you have to be willing to change your words, change how you speak of yourself, change how you speak change how you speak words with faith instead of words of fear. And so this card comes with the emotional truth, the emotional connection. It comes with the intuitive. And it's like the Queen of Summer is this whole, it goes all the way back to, who are you caring for? What are you emotionally invested in? And it's the loving, it's comfortable. It's like, who are you emotionally investing in? Where is the emotional self? Your pit bull is snoring right now too, Serena? Yeah. Yeah, mine is like a 6 pound. I don't know if you can see. You can see the head of one. Together they're 10 pounds. Two of them there. Two dogs, 10 pounds. And so this is, it's like, where are you emotionally investing? And your emotional investments right now is what you really have to put focus into. I'm having the sense that you're looking you're giving out little pieces of you everywhere, but it's not little pieces coming in. If you listen to your heart, and what your heart needs is what your heart is crying out for more, is crying out for you. You're giving too much. You're giving too much out and you don't have it within yourself to give out. I feel as if what you're doing is the fact that when you do feel good or when you're having a good day, you think is a good day to kind of go out and I feel like I got this, someone's like tickling my nose. And so it feels as if when you do have a good day or when you're feeling like you're energized, is that you go out and you give everything of yourself away. You go out and give all your love out into the world, give all your love out everywhere else, and then you're empty again. It's like you recharge your battery, but you don't recharge it all the way to the top. You recharge it 3/4, and then it's like poof, you run out, and then you empty it all the way out. Finding that in between balance is so important, Cassie. And it's like we can't go all the way from being all the way up here in emotions, then all the way down here. You got to find that in between balance in your life. And so, yeah, don't crash and burn, right? And so it's that. And so with this, I really feel like kind of what's coming up is that Eight of Autumn is all about education, wisdom, knowledge. It's about starting these new projects. And this is old wisdom coming in. I feel as if you're going to be venturing into kind of getting yourself well educated into you. And that's what it feels like. I feel like you're going to really start to learn more about you. It's not, I don't know if it's so much about school as it is about investing into you. The emotional investment into you is what I get. And then I do feel as if there's a change in career, a change in opportunity. And it's like, I just feel like you're going forward. But I have a whole lot of healing happening here. I have a whole lot of what I would call Raphael energy coming in here, or Jesus energy. It is the whole essence of the healers from the other side are stepping in to help you go through the healing. And I really want to see you get your emotional self kind of connected back to your heart and not in your head before you start investing into taking on any new projects, any new schooling, any new anything. It's like we got to get you to start finding that balance in between, right? You're either high or you're low. You can't find that happy medium. So this is your opportunity. I got a great school called Corrie School of Magic. And Corrie School of Magic is about remembering the magic that's inside of us. There's a great program starting, Healing That Healer. And it might be a great opportunity for you. And it's not even that expensive. We put it so it's good and priced reasonably. And so when we find that balance, when we make that investment, this is where it starts. This is truly your time to start investing to you. Archangel Raphael, Jesus energy, stepping in to lay hands up on the heart to go forth into making this healing about your heart center healing now, about clearing out your head, about clearing out the what ifs, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. If I did this, or I had done this, or if things were differently. If things were differently, nothing would change because you're not changing on the inside. You're not changing this up. You're not making this a priority. So everything outside of here, hello, my sister Tina. So if everything out here changed, would you really change? Because if you're emotionally always running on empty or like high to low, if everything out here changed, if this is not changed, nothing is going to change. This is where your priorities right now. The investment is into the emotional self. It's doing the emotional healing. It's getting in check with your emotions, and our emotions lie to us. How does it make you feel? Where are you feeling this? What's happening to me today? What is happening to me today? Change that. What is happening within me today? What is happening within me? And that's where you want to put that focus. Thank you, Larissa. What is happening within me? And that's where you want you to gauge it. Not what's happening out there. What is happening within me today that's taken me into that low? I'm just going to validate that a little bit for you here. And it's the Nine of Springs. And this is about protecting that your fruits of labor. And I keep picking up ladybugs everywhere. When you start to become aware, when you start to notice, you actually see everything. You become aware of your environment. You become aware of your your world. When you're in the spiral of angst and anxiety, and we get so caught up in this outer self or this fear self, is that we don't see the and we don't see the magic, and we don't see these little flowers blooming. I wait every day to watch my tiger lilies, and I don't sit and wait and give up my life to look, but every day when I go to water them, I talk to those tiger lilies and I say, oh my God, you're that much closer to opening up. I can't wait to see you, but I'm so glad to patiently wait the process, because everything is a process. When you plant a seed, it takes time. So now we plant a seed in your heart. You have to protect that and not give that seed away that we just give you, because now we just ask the God consciousness, we ask for that healing to be a seed inside of you. So when you feel good, you can't give that away. So now that I see everything, I'm mowing the grass on Saturday, and it was getting ready to rain, so I'm trying to get it done. And I turned the lawnmower off, and I stopped and my sister-in-law Brenda was there. She's in here tonight too. And she's in the house, and she sees me. She comes out. What are you doing? There was a ladybug on a blade of grass. I seen that ladybug because I'm always looking. I don't just look straight ahead. I don't live in the one-dimensional world. I see beyond. There's so much more happening out there, so much more that's happening within us. So I stopped. I picked up my little ladybug. I bought it up, had a little talk to, just like my blog about, if you're on my website or my Facebook page and you see the blog about the bee. So I saved the ladybug. I put up my lavender tree, and I just had a little talk to it. Then I went up and I went to sweep off the deck. Where was it? I almost swept it up again. It was off. And so I picked it up, and it had a little wing that wasn't working. So I fixed this little wing, tucked it in, put it back in the lavender again. Eventually, it then flew away. It needed time. It needed time to heal. It needed time. Somebody paid attention to it. Somebody seen that ladybug. When you are looking, you see you. When you stop looking, you no longer see you. You see everything else that is out there, and all you can focus on is what we don't have, what is not there, and we don't see ourselves. You're that little ladybug today. I seen you today. Now you have to see you, and you have to make yourself a priority. Changes are coming. You have to be ready for the change. Time fixes everything? Somewhat, Steve. We have to be willing to fix things within ourselves. We have to be willing to make ourselves a priority. And so have patience with this process, because there's a seed that's been planted inside of you. There's a healing that's happening inside of you. You have to be willing to put that work in. You have to be willing to do that. Connie, I had a ladybug stuck in my calf. To my calf yesterday when I got home from my bike ride. Felt like I was being bitten. It was chewing on you. It wasn't biting you. It was nipping you to remind you. To remind you of the importance of you. Oh, you're watching me on TV? Yay. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, you can put me up on your TV, right? Yeah. That ladybug was a reminder. Here's somebody yelling. Okay, this is a general card. Doing one last general card. I love ladybugs too. So I love all bugs, spiders. We don't bug the spiders outside of our house. Because see, that spider can become, that little spider can become you could look at it and it become the biggest problem in your whole life when you have fear. So you can make that little tiny spider become one great big effing problem, right? And it could become the biggest problem of your whole world when you gain a new perspective and you look at it and how much it's trying to help you and how it's growing it's making that web to catch these spiders. I'm done with all individual cards for tonight, Amanda. I'm just finishing up my last general card. And so this little tiny spider is this big. And when you take the time to pause and look at what it's actually doing and that it's actually not a problem, remember, you are in its world. You are in its environment. You're in its space. We are sharing space in this world. And there is enough space for everybody in this world. So the last card that we got is the Chariot, and it's dragonflies. And all weekend long, dragonflies kept flying into my house and hitting my windows. The dragonflies are about transformation. When we're willing to start to step into self-discipline, to not be in that self-sabotage, that self-sabotage prophecy, when we don't allow ourselves to go into fear of succeeding, when we allow ourselves to believe that that we become accepting, and success comes when we make a choice to choose to start to accept, and that we choose to start to do something different. And it's like when we become dedicated to the cause. You are the cause. You are the why. When we start to question things, we start to question the world, we start to question ourselves. When we stop just believing one-track mind thinking or one way of seeing things, when we move beyond the desire to save the whole world, and we think, why am I trying to save the whole world when I can't even save myself right now? Save you. Because when you save you, you become a change in the world. The more we light up individually, the more that lights up, the more that the world starts to light. We have to be willing to be a part of the integration. We have to integrate to grow and live together. You are so welcome, Cassie. And so the Chariot really comes about that barging ahead with success. Transformation is on the way. It's a 7. So if you were to notice, when I decided to come on tonight, I never noticed this, but it is a 7-7, and it was 7 p.m. 777. All in the power of the 7. There is major amounts of change and transformation that's happening. And when we stop looking one dimension and we only see the problems of the world, and we let the outside problems take over us and they become an even bigger problem, is that we don't see that things have to dismantle and come down so that we can build strong foundations and that we can grow up. We have to dismantle the old to create new. Success comes when we become dedicated to being a change within ourselves. And this is a time of transformation. And transformation only happens when we do something different than we've been doing it before. And that starts with you. So, it scared the crap out of you yesterday. And they're coming, they're beautiful. When you're seeing all kinds of them, that's that there's a change coming in your life. Your life is transforming. They land on me all the time, and I hold them in my hand, and they're eating up the little flies, right? Because you're not scared of nothing, right? And so it kind of shocked you. It kind of gives you that to wake you up, to make you aware. Yeah. I'm glad this message has resonated with you, and I hope it resonated with everyone. And sorry I wasn't giving out even more individual cards. It really, truly, as we've seen with that one same card that kept coming out, that these messages, these collective messages tonight, that messages were meant for everybody. This is divine messaging that channels from there, through me, for everybody. And so when it comes through, I work as a channel. That's mainly what I do, is that I work as self-actualization, empowerment. I'm a spiritual healer, spiritual coach. I work in allowing to give you the tools to help you help yourself. I am not freaking saving you. There's no one here to save us but saving ourselves. We become the saviors. I'm here to give you the tools. You have to do the work. That's the deal. I will help. I will guide. You got to do the work. If you want to book an individual session with me, go to my website, CorrieThorne.com. You can go to teachables.com and go to Corrie School of Magic. And if you Google me, all pops up. And if you go to my Facebook page, you can also see the links to get into that Healing the Healer, which is the everyday woman who's just never put herself as a priority. Really time to start putting that mirror in front of yourself. Also, my Angel Tarot course is on there, my Angels and Tarot. So when I work with Tarot cards, I incorporate angel healing, angel work, because it all ties between the zodiac signs, the angels, the guides, the Tarots. It's all coming from divine source. When I speak of the Tarot in there, it's a beginner Tarot course. So it talks about the major, the minor, the pet cards, everything about describing the cards and how they resonate with me intuitively, because you have to trust your intuition with the messages that you're getting every time you're working with the cards. There's also a chakra angel card. There is a full moon meditation that we just did that was just recorded for the full moon. That is still in there. That's free. You can go take that. There's an inner child healing course. Go take advantage of some of those things. I'm finished doing the individual readings for tonight. I'm just finishing up here for tonight. I've been in here for over almost an hour and a half now. But thank you for everyone who's joined me. Thank you for your love and support and for taking the time to stay with me. I do suggest that if you keep following my page, if you do the follow, make sure you like the page, and so that you can get the notifications as well for when I'm going live on YouTube. Please subscribe. Please subscribe and hit the notification, because now, oh, no worries, Rhonda. Come back in. I'll be back in a couple of days. And so please just go into YouTube and subscribe and like and get the notifications. And you too, Rhonda. So nice to see you, by the way. And so do go in, like all that. I'll be back in a few days and doing another live. I do a lot of evening live teaching, so my evenings are busy. I have a whole bunch of classes. My More Than Existing program starts again in September. If you're interested in getting in, please remember there's a lot of payment options. And that program, that More Than Existing program, has 4 levels. The self-actualization is about making the commitment to you for 6 months. And then the other levels are shorter. And then there's a coaching certification that you can also take to become one of the coaches with the More Than Existing program. So if you're interested in any of that, go check it all out. And also my blogs, there's tons of blogs. Go read the blogs, because there's lots of medicine healing that's in those, like spiritual medicine, not medical medicine. But there's a lot of messages that are in there that are really good for the heart and for the soul that are in those messages. So much love. All the Zodiac monthly July messages are on YouTube. Go check them out. Love you all. Thank you for being with me. And I will talk to Frances, and we'll get a joint, another one of Frances and I up here as well. And that'll also be YouTube and Facebook. Love you all. Good night. Bye-bye.